Hey everybody! Thank you for joining us again for another episode of eCommerce Uncensored. This is episode
31,
and I'm here with Jason. Hi, Jason.
What's up?
How you doing, buddy?
Good, how are you?
We're here today. It's very rainy outside, but fortunately, we're watching the Masters. Or Jason's watching the Masters.
Right, I'm watching the Masters.
On his own personal TV.
Right.
So anyway, today we're going to talk about a strategy that we put in a jab, right hook, and you finally get the sale. That's the concept behind it. So that's kind of what we wanted to go into today with this podcast and talk about some strategies that we've put in place with some of our clients and ourselves. What do you think about that, Jay?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that I think we struggle with, and I think we struggle with it because we have so many different clients and so many different niches, and some products really sell well if you just say, "Hey, buy my product." And then others take a little bit more finessing, so to speak, right? So like, let's sort of like build a strategy out so that we can stop talking in hypotheticals and talk more specifically. So we talk about a lot about Facebook ads. You can apply this with Google ads. You can apply this to really anything. But, you know, we like to create videos at first. People first see us through a video because it kind of brings out the personality of your product, of your brand. So let's say you have a video, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube or however you do it. You try to bring people, or you try to introduce yourself through a video, whether it's through an ad or maybe, not through an ad, through organic. Try to get people next on your email. Maybe send them an email with another video or a blog post, this sort of also goes back to pixeling. We talked about pixeling your audience, and this is really a good way to pixel your audience as well, is sort of document, or I don't want to say follow, but that's what you're doing. Follow them all around with this Facebook pixel so that you touch them more times. And they get to know you, they get to like you, they get to trust you, and
yeah, I think the video thing is huge. What you said. If you're going to do a video on Facebook, let's say, these people get to see you. They get to look you in the eyes. They get to see your personality, and they gain your trust, or they they gain trust in you, I guess you would
Right,
say.
and it's a big reason why we don't put Kevin on camera. But you know,
But it's true. I mean, you see someone's face and they're giving you their story. They're telling you about a problem or a solution that their product offers. You make a connection with them. It's just a good entry point into them learning more about you, which I think is why Jason says it's one of the main things we start with when we're starting a campaign.
yeah. So we'll do a lot of video. Then we'll try to move them into maybe try to get them on our email list, and then send them some emails with some videos or some products. Or really, the idea is that you want them to get comfortable enough to give you their money.
Right.
And nowadays, we don't often see people just giving you their money unless you get in front of them a few times. And we've talked about in the past, maybe we haven't, but email, we see it working really well in some industries and not so well in other industries. So if people tell you, oh, your email list, I would say, look, it's always good to collect emails, but understand your market before you completely use that as your strategy.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it in some of our products. Some people are just on Facebook, and that's the power of social media, that you can, once you engage, and you can pixel these people. Once again, to talk about the pixel, but you can get in front of them just almost like you would get in front of them through email, because that's the platform that they're using, whether it be Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or whatever. You can use those to get in front of people at any time. And that's what the beauty of this re-engagement is. So you get that first impression, and then you put yourself in front of them several times, and you're like, okay, I'm going to buy from this guy. I get it. I got this problem. He's got the solution. I'm going to buy from him.
Yeah, and the other thing that, as we said, with e-commerce, it's funny because there are some products that people are just going to buy, right? Like, for whatever reason, they're just going to buy it because that's, whether the price is so good they can't pass up a deal, or like we see like in the cosmetics industry that you can pretty much throw a deal in front of anybody in the cosmetics industry and they're just going to take it.
Well, that's why we talk about a lot of times when you're testing a product. If the product's out there and it's selling, there's a good chance you'll be able to sell it. And if you're not selling it, you're doing something wrong. Because people need it. People want it already. It's part of the market.
Yeah, I mean, but it's funny you say that, but we do have a client that their most popular product, people aren't just buying when they see it. So it depends on the niche. It really depends on the niche. I mean, sometimes you're selling some products that people could be a little embarrassed about, which is the case with one of our clients. It's not something that they want to talk about openly. It's a problem that they have. So it does take these multi-touch points.
Yeah, something someone's going to actually put in their body, right? That's a very touchy situation. People aren't as comfortable committing to something like that just because they see you're selling something cheap or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, and I think really, I don't know if you feel like this, Kev, but I feel like we're kind of, a little all over the place with this. But the main idea is that you have to touch them in multiple places: Facebook, Twitter, if Twitter's like your market, Pinterest, Instagram, Snapchat, email, your website, whatever. The idea is to have a longer sort of approach, right? A longer approach to the sales. And look, it's not easy. I know it's easier said than done. But part of our job in this podcast is for people like you who are listening to kind of know what to expect, right? Like, I think I said this like the last podcast. I think that's like the biggest hurdle. If you know what to expect, you know how to react to certain situations. So if you know that it's going to be a longer game, it's a little bit easier to spend money, on marketing if you know that it's going to take you 7 times or 8 times or 10 times before somebody buys from you. But it's not easy. So
no, I completely agree. Don't get discouraged if someone's not going to buy your product the first time they see it, or the first time they read a piece of content that you put out there, or the first time they watch a video of yours. We were talking about this before we started recording. Having your audience make mini commitments, right? So what that means is, clicking over to a blog post would be a mini commitment from them, and then joining your mailing list would be another commitment. So, and then, the ultimate commitment would be for them to take out their credit card. So you take them through all these little mini commitments, as I said.
Yeah, and it's a longer game, as we said, but in the end, it'll pay off, and that's really what it comes down to. It's changing. There's a lot more competitors right now online. There's a lot of people selling a lot of the same stuff. We have a client of ours who thinks that his product should sell because he says it's better than everybody else's, or he says it's cheaper than everybody else's. And, it's
boy, I can hear the frustration coming out in your voice, Jay.
Yes, it's very frustrating. But, the truth is like, people buy for a lot of different reasons. And, we've told him, look, cheaper is not better, especially with a product like his. People could be skeptical of it. There's a reason why it's so cheap, whatever. But, yeah.
Or they don't even know that they need it. Not like they need it, or it's even a thing to actually have. People don't realize that they have a problem with something. They don't know it exists. So that's kind of what you have to present to them first.
Yeah, well, there's obviously that's a whole nother conversation, different types of
totally
different places in the buying cycle. But the point is, take a longer approach. It's not easy because obviously everybody wants to be successful yesterday, and everybody wants to spend no money and make a lot of money. But the reality is that people need to learn who you are, know who you are, like you, trust you, and then they'll decide whether or not they want your product to solve their problem. Yeah. And that's really, I think,
I think that's the message we're just trying to send over to you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you got a lot of value out of it, and I hope you were able to put in some of these strategies yourself. So thank you guys once again for tuning in to eCommerce Uncensored. This has been episode 31, and you guys can go over to eCommerceUncensored.com to check out all our podcast notes. This is episode 31, and if you guys wouldn't mind logging into your iTunes there, and if you're enjoying what you hear, if you're getting value out of it, just if you could write us a quick review, that'd be awesome. Thank you guys so much. Have a great one.
Later.